Hello, everyone. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you out there. As you know, my name is Renee, and I'm thankful you've come to learn more about your health. Believe it or not, God really does care about your health. Last year, just about anywhere you look, sickness and disease were on the rise. In the United States, someone had a heart attack every 40 seconds, and 1.4 million Americans were diagnosed with diabetes. 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. And it's estimated there would be 1,958,310 new cancer cases diagnosed and 609,820 cancer deaths in the U.S. in 2023. There's also a rise in the number of strokes per year, gastrointestinal problems, arthritic conditions, lung conditions, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and a host of many other diseases. The question is, why? Well, many people believe God is to blame. But is that the case? In the Bible in 3 John 2, we're told God wants us to prosper and to be in health. So if he wants us to be in health and disease is more rampant now than ever before, what's the problem? Well, we have laws known as natural laws. And when these laws are neglected in any way, the result is sickness and disease. And over a period of time of neglecting these natural laws, more severe diseases like cancer can set in. Last time I talked about the biblical remedies and the benefits of figs. And today I'm going to be talking about cancer. And that is a terrible disease that anyone who's been diagnosed with it has definitely felt severe sadness and worry in their life. So anyway, let's get started. Well, America's death warrant is cancer. And Ministry of Healing tells us it's essential both to understand the principles involved in the treatment of the sick and to have a practical training that will enable one rightly to use this knowledge. And then in HL 19 paragraph 5 it says, it is the duty of every person to become intelligent in regard to disease and its causes. And another quote is in MM 320 paragraph 2 says, gather up all the knowledge possible that will help to combat disease. This may be done by those who are diligent students. And then MM 320 paragraph 3 says, but few can take a course of training in our medical institutions, but all can study our health literature and become intelligent on this important subject. And then CH 506 paragraph 1 says, as religious aggression subverts the liberties of our nation, those who would stand for freedom of conscience will be placed in unfavorable positions. For their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regards to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. Now, God's people are to know how to prevent, understand, and cure cancer. There's 4 major causes of disease. According to scientific statistics, the top 4 killer diseases in the nation are cancer, heart disease, medical errors, and strokes. According to the Spirit of Prophecy and most recent scientific statistics, the top 4 killer diseases in the nation are drug medication, cancer, heart disease, and medical error. And second selected messages 450 paragraph 2 says, more deaths have been caused by drug taking than from all other causes combined. Now, it used to be that heart disease was ahead of cancer, but now cancer is ahead of heart disease. Now, in 1945, 1 out of 15 people died of cancer. In 1971, it was 1 in 6. In 1976, it was 1 in 5. And now it's 1 to 2 people are going to get cancer out of every 3. That is quite a change. People are dying every day. This puts cancer at the top leading cause of death in the United States, although some research shows that the number has actually increased and it is number 1. It was number 2, now it's number 1. Anyway, in men, the second and third most frequent occurring cancers are prostate and colon, and in women, it's cancer of the breast and colon. So, while cancer death statistics can vary from place to place, it's generally estimated that roughly 7.2 to 7.5 million people worldwide die from cancer every year. In the United States, where cancer death statistics are highly monitored each year, there has been a steady death rate of 550 million to 600 million people year after year. 600,000. That's approximately 1,500 people that die every day. Now, there's a book called China Study, and there's information in there about prostate cancer and also colon cancer and breast cancer. The 4 basic types of cancer are carcinomas, leukemias, sarcomas, and lymphomas. Now you can, if you have the Natural Remedies book, Natural Remedies Encyclopedia book by Vance Farrell, and you can find cancer pictures in that book. And the most 15 frequent types of cancer in that book, he says, are skin cancer, mouth or throat, larynx, lung, breast, leukemia, stomach, bladder and kidney, ovaries, endometrium, cervical and uterine, prostate, testicles, colon, and lymph node tissue. Now, the signs and symptoms of cancer in the medical field, they use an acronym called CAUTION. C is for change in bowel habits. A is a sore that doesn't heal on the skin or in the mouth. U is unusual bleeding or discharge from your rectum, bladder, or vaginal area. Could be colorectal, or prostatic, bladder, or cervical cancer. T is thickening of the breast tissue or a new lump. And I is indigestion or trouble swallowing, which could be cancer of the mouth, throat, esophagus, or stomach. O is obvious changes to moles or warts, could be skin cancer. And then N is a nagging cough or hoarseness that persists for 4 to 6 weeks. It could be cancer of the lung or throat. Well, question, what exactly is cancer anyway? Well, it's an uncontrolled proliferation of cells producing a malignant tumor. It invades surrounding tissues and may entail meningitis, which could possibly lead to death. According to Sir Arbuthnot Lane, England's greatest surgeon, cancer is especially a nutritional disease, a disease of faulty feeding plus the absorption of poisonous drugs. And that's in his book, The Divine Prescription, on page 314. Now, cancer begins when the DNA is healthy cells become sick. So cancer is also inefficient immune system. For good cells to become cancer cells, the DNA must be altered by foreign substances. To learn more, understanding the nature of cancer, read The Answer to Cancer on page 11. This book can be purchased at meetministry.org. Now, what causes cancer? Well, disease never comes without a cause. The way is prepared and disease is invited by a disregard of the laws of health, we're told in Ministry of Healing, page 234. And then she also says the greater number suffer because of their own wrong course of action. They disregard the principles of health by their habits of eating, drinking, dressing, and working. And Ministry of Healing 127 says disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. Also see Proverbs 26:2. So other things that cause cancer is a lack of the 5 needs of the cell. Oxygen, water, nutrients, waste eliminations, and all poisons to be kept out. That includes additives, preservatives, artificial food coloring, agave, artificial sweeteners, everything with MSG, including the 25 hidden names of MSG, vinegar, pepper, spices, refined sugar, condiments, coffee, tea, tobacco, all forms of alcohol, medication, etc. Additives, preservatives, and artificial food coloring, high fructose corn syrup, agave, artificial sweeteners, vinegar, pepper, spices, all that stuff is all in the Spirit of Prophecy, and you could read up on it about what she says about that. All poison should be kept out. Our food should be plain and free from all objectable elements. But let us be careful that it is always palatable and good. So we want to make sure that our food tastes good and it's palatable, because if you tell people to eat a plant-based diet and that's God's way, and they taste food and it's bland and blah and yucky and it doesn't even look good, it's going to turn people off. So then we're told in Counsels on Diet and Foods to be sure that as a rational Christian sentinel, you guard the door of your stomach, allowing nothing to pass your lips that will be an enemy to your health and life. God holds you responsible to obey the light he has given you on health reform. Eat much more sparingly and eat simple food which doesn't require heavy seasoning. Your animal passion should be starved, not pampered and fed. And then 19:113 says, abstinence from all hurtful food and drink is the fruit of true religion. He who is thoroughly converted will abandon every injurious habit and appetite. Now, here's some things that cause cancer. Continuing on, something to keep in mind when treating others, thousands need to be educated patiently, kindly, tenderly, but decidedly that 9/10 of their complaints are created by their own course of action. The more they introduce drugs into the system, the more certainly do they interfere with the laws of nature and bring about the very difficulties they drug themselves to avoid. Other things that cause cancer, and these aren't listed in any particular order. Number one, animal protein. Casein is also animal protein, and it's the number one item to turn on the cancer cell. Be sure to read your labels. Labels will tell you what's in the product you're buying, and if you don't know what it is, please look it up. Another thing that causes cancer is decreased oxygen levels in the body. Improper breathing, improper posture, lack of oxygen, anything that prevents air from getting in the lungs. Decreased nuts, seeds, and legume intake, lack of fruit and vegetables in your diet. Fruit should be eaten raw, and vegetables need to be cooked, especially, well, just the coarse vegetables, which includes really all vegetables except for all types of lettuces, and spinach can be eaten raw, even though if you're sick, you want to cook it as well. Other things that cause cancer, like I said, coarse vegetables, they shouldn't be eaten raw, and the quote for that is found in Education, page 204, paragraph 3. She says, coarse vegetables fail of supplying proper nutriment, and many a student has broken down as a result of such foods. I have a whole document on coarse vegetables and information on that, and even now medical science is showing that we need to cook our coarse vegetables. We don't want to eat them hard and crunchy, but that's another topic for another day. Anyway, also we need vitamin D, which is found by going outside in the sunshine. If you want to have a test done, have the 25 hydroxy test, not the 125. There's a 40 to 70% reduction in cancer when our vitamin D levels are where they should be. We're told in Counsels on Diet and Foods, I must get all the sunlight that is possible for me to obtain. I must have wisdom to be a faithful guardian of my body. Also, lack of water, overeating, excess salt, the wrong type of salt, improper rest, stress, inactivity. People who do exercise and keep up with that at least 4 hours a week cut their risk of breast and colon cancer by 33%. Meat eating, 84% of the cows tested positive for leukemia. See page 315 of the book called The Divine Prescription I talked about earlier. Counsels on Diet and Food says 386 paragraph 4, the liability to take disease is increased tenfold by meat eating. And then Counsel on Diet and Foods 383 paragraph 4 said those who use flesh meat disregard all the warnings God has given concerning this question. They have no evidence they are walking in safe paths. They have not the slightest excuse for eating the flesh of dead animals. Did you hear that? We don't have the slightest excuse. We're not to be eating dead animals. God has given us way better things to eat than dead animals. God's curse is resting upon the animal creation. Continuing on with the quote, many times when meat is eaten, it decays in the stomach and creates disease. Cancers, tumors, and pulmonary diseases are largely caused by meat eating. And that's CD 383 paragraph 4. Other things causing cancer are fish, shellfish, eggs, animal fat, spices, coffee, tea, sugar, refined products, MSG, aspartame, additives, preservatives, food coloring, smoking, tobacco, secondhand smoke, thirdhand smoke, all forms of alcohol. The Bible says wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Cosmetics. Many are ignorantly injuring their health and endangering their lives by using cosmetics. This is Healthful Living, page 189, paragraph 2 now. Continuing, when they become heated, the poison is absorbed by the pores of the skin and is thrown into the blood. Many lives have been sacrificed by this means alone. Cosmetics, according to Noah's Webster's Dictionary, the 1828 version, which is the one Sister White used, says beautifying, improving beauty, particularly the beauty of the skin. And any preparation that renders the skin soft, pure, and white and helps to beautify and improve the complexion. This could be lotions, perfumes, body sprays, skin creams, etc. Also, hair chemicals. Major cause of leukemia in women. And there's going to be some links below on this. Industrial pollution. Move to the country. Don't be living in the city by all these big high-rise buildings and houses so close to you can reach out the window and shake your neighbor's hand. Products with chemicals like cleaning products. There's many natural products out there today. You can just Google it and find them. Polluted water. You don't want to be drinking city water. Be sure you filter your water. And be careful of alkaline and distilled water. Those are not healthy. We are counseled to drink pure, soft water. Very important for health. Another thing is aluminum. Fluoride, which is in a lot of toothpaste. Be careful of making yours with baking soda as well. You do not want a toothpaste with baking soda. This is poisonous to the blood. Mammograms, I'll have a video below on that. Radiation, chemotherapy zaps the immune system. Watch a video by Dr. Lorraine Day called Cancer Doesn't Scare Me Anymore. She talks about the dangers of chemotherapy. X-rays. In pamphlet 095, page 19, paragraph 4, Sister White says, I've been instructed that the X-ray is not the great blessing that some suppose it to be. If used unwisely, it may do much harm. The results of some of the electrical treatments are similar to the results of using stimulants. There is a weakness that follows. Biopsies, these tend to spread cancer. Medication, this includes vitamins and minerals that come from a pharmacy. See second selected messages 278, paragraph 4 to 279, paragraph 1. Also, there's a document called Why Not Drugs. If you're interested in that, ask me for it. Barbecue grills. They say barbecuing is like smoking 60 cigarettes at one time. It increases your risk of cancer. See Encyclopedia of Foods and Their Healing Power, pages 276 to 278 if you have that book. Also, self-abuse is masturbation that causes cancer. Sister White says in CG 444, the practice of secret habits surely destroys the vital forces of the system. All unnecessary vital action will be followed by corresponding depression. Among the young, the vital capital, the brain, is so severely taxed that at an early age there's a deficiency and great exhaustion which leaves the system exposed to disease of various kinds. If the practice is continued from the ages of 15 upward, nature will protest against the abuse she has suffered and continues to suffer, and will make them pay the penalty for the transgression of her laws, especially from the ages of 30 to 45, by numerous pains in the system and various diseases such as affection of the liver, lungs, neuralgia, rheumatism, affection of the spine, diseased kidneys, and cancerous humors. Some of nature's fine machinery gives way, leaving a heavier task for the remaining to perform, which disorders nature's fine arrangement, and there's often a sudden breaking down of the constitution, and death is the result. Improper dress. Satan is constantly devising some new style of dress that shall prove an injury to physical and moral health. Many have become lifelong invalids through their compliance with the demands of fashion. Displacements and deformities, cancers, and other terrible diseases are among the evils resulting from fashionable dress. That's 4T 634, paragraph 4. Satan invented the fashions which leave the limbs exposed, chilling back life current from its original course, CG 427. Now, some other things to know are that studies show if you are angry for 5 minutes, this can suppress your immune system for 5 hours. Wow.
One bitter thought changes the blood chemistry from alkaline to acidic. The more you chew, the more your white blood count production increases. Cancer treatment. Some good news regarding cancer. CD 302 says in 9 cases out of 10, if they would eat temperately and engage in healthful exercise with a cheerful spirit, they would regain health and save time and money. Nature will want some assistance to bring things to their proper condition, which may be found in the simplest remedies. If the sick and suffering will do only as well as they know in regard to living out the principles of health reform perseveringly, then they will, in 9 cases out of 10, recover from their ailments. MM 223, paragraph 4. Question. What about those cases that have been given up by doctors and sent the patient home to die? Well, we're told in WM 325, paragraph 3, before there were any sanitariums among us, my husband and I began work in medical missionary lines. We would bring to our house cases that had been given up by the physician to die when we knew not what to do for them. We would pray to God most earnestly, and he always sent his blessing. He is the mighty healer, and he worked with us. We never had time or opportunity to take a medical course, but we had success as we moved out in the fear of God and sought him for wisdom at every step. This gave us courage in the Lord. What a beautiful testimony that is. Wow, that's amazing. And then Ministry of Healing 127, paragraph 2 says, it is essential both to understand the principles involved in the treatment of sick and to have a practical training that will enable one rightly to use this knowledge. And then our Sabbath-keeping families should keep their minds filled with helpful principles of health reform and other lines of truth that they may be a help to their neighbors. Be practical missionaries. Gather up all the knowledge possible that will help to combat disease. MM 320, paragraph 2. Then CH 506 says, as religious aggression subverts the liberties of our nation, those who would stand for freedom of conscience will be placed in unfavorable positions. For their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. There is a cure for cancer. See, cancer is curable now and healing cancer inside out. And then when the abuse of health is carried so far that sickness results, the sufferer can often do for himself what no one else can do for him. The first thing to be done is to ascertain the true character of the sickness and then go to work intelligently to remove the cause. If the harmonious working of the system has become unbalanced by overwork, overeating, or other irregularities, do not endeavor to adjust the difficulties by adding a burden of poisonous medicines. MH 235, paragraph 1. And then another quote from Second Selected Messages 468 says, deals out poisonous medicines or something called the soothing cordial. If it was not disease in reality before, it is after this process. It suffers now from drug disease, the most stubborn and incurable of all diseases. A physician is sent for who prescribes some drug which gives present relief, but which does not cure the disease. It may change the form of disease, but the real evil is increased tenfold. That's 4A SG 133, paragraph 2. And then CD 388, paragraph 4 says, people are continually eating flesh that is filled with tuberculosis and cancerous germs. Tuberculosis, cancer, and other fatal diseases are thus communicated. Cancer is a germ. A germ is fungal, viral, bacterial, and protozoa. And therefore, a cancer program should include treatments that are antibacterial, antifungal, antiprotozoa, and antiviral. 2SM 298, paragraph 6 says, always study and teach the use of the simplest remedies, and the special blessing of the Lord may be expected to follow the use of these means, which are within the reach of common people. Evangelism 5:16, paragraph 1 says, give those who are sick the simple treatments that will relieve them, and then pray with them. Another thing we're told, do not use alcoholic tinctures. The watchword at the portals of this institution is total abstinence from alcohol in every form. There are no alcoholic tinctures in medicines, no mild tonics reinforced by other stimulants or narcotics, but a total abstinence from the use of alcohol in any form.
Many of our people, our own people, are using alcoholic tinctures, and this quote says that is wrong. We are not to do that. Also, I would have to do a lifestyle assessment on a person to find out what they're doing and that they should not be doing, or what they're not doing that they should be doing. We need to follow all the laws of health, which is nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, rest, trust in God, dress, cleanliness, etc. There are 14 laws of health, not 8. 8 are the basic ones that most everybody knows, but there's really 14. Now we have to think attitude and service to others. The greatest objection to health reform is that these people do not live it out, and yet they will gravely say they can't live health reform and preserve their strength. We find in every such instance a good reason why they cannot live out the health reform. They do not live it out and have never followed it strictly, therefore they can't be benefited by it. That's CD 298, paragraph 3 through 399, paragraph 1. Cancer treatment continued is garlic. Garlic is very good for you. Fresh is best, 6 to 10 cloves daily. You can divide it up in 2 and 3 doses taken with your food. Flaxseed, 2 tablespoons freshly grounded each day, just right when you're ready to eat. 2 tablespoons of seeds are important. Essiac tea, used according to directions. Be sure to get the authentic one. It comes in a small brown bag. The ingredients are sheep sorrel, burdock root, slippery elm bark, and Turkey rhubarb root. You can use a herbal tea formula, one for the blood, and that's red clover, chickweed, or chaparral. A herb for the liver, which is dandelion, barberry, yellow dock, milk thistle. And 2 herbs for your medical condition. 2 herbs for the cancer would be red clover, chaparral, yellow dock, black walnut, olive leaf, etc. You can always Google herbs for cancer too. Saw pimento is great for prostate cancer in men. Be sure to look up the type of cancer you're dealing with to see which are the most recommended herbs. Lemon juice is very good too. The juice of 2 lemons every morning mixed in 16 ounces of warm water. You may do a slice in every cup too after that. Barley Life, if you can find it. I'm not sure if it's out anymore now that I think about it, but if you can find it, 3 to 4 tablespoons a day, 3 to 4 times a day. So that's quite a bit. That's if you did 4 tablespoons 4 times a day, that would be a whole cup. That's 16 tablespoons. Olive leaf powder. You can get that in capsules and take 3 capsules 3 times a day. Be sure you get the veggie caps because we don't want any additives or animal products. And then do not use magnesium stearate. Turmeric is one of the most powerful treatments for cancer. You can take a teaspoon every single day. I'll have a link to an article posted by Dr. Mercola on that. Turmeric is actually a root, and so is ginger, and they're both very good for cancer. And we're told in Second Selected Messages, 279, paragraph 1, there are simple herbs and roots that every family may use for themselves and need not call a physician any sooner than they would call a lawyer. 4 to 12 grams per day, approximately 1 to 3 teaspoons. The more the better, results have shown. Reduces tumors by 81% and decreases polyps by more than 60%. I will have several links posted below on this as well. Another good thing is vitamin B17. Use according to instructions. Include a citrus fruit every day in your diet. Besides, have 2 other fruits. Cherries are excellent in the treatment of cancer. Boy, and I love cherries. Maybe that's why I don't get cancer. Praise God, I haven't. But I love cherries. They are excellent. And eat one of the following vegetables every single day with your vegetable meal: Brussels sprouts, broccoli, or asparagus. Be sure to cook them and never eat them raw. Again, please look up the quote in Education 204 where she says, coarse vegetables fail of supplying proper nutriment. Also eat dark leafy greens every day, and an orange vegetable. Like today we had kale, and I put onions and garlic in it and put a little lemon juice on it. It's delicious. Councils on Diet and Food says so much liquid taken into the stomach is not healthful, and that all who subsisted on such a diet place a great tax upon the kidneys, and so much watery substance debilitated the stomach. Castor oil packs are great for painful cancer areas. If you have a tumor, drink water and apply water for water treatments. We're told in Ministry of Healing 237, in health and sickness, pure water is one of heaven's choicest blessings. Drunk freely, it helps to supply the necessities of the system and assist nature to resist disease. Also, a cold or cool bath is an excellent tonic. Warm baths open up the pores and thus aid in the elimination of impurities. And both warm and neutral baths soothe the nerves and equalize the circulation. And then cold sheet treatments are great for cancer, as are hot and cold treatments, which build up our immune system. We are told in GH October 1, 1899, paragraph 6, what power there is in water. Never be afraid to do water treatments. They are excellent. Water treatments are not appreciated as they should be. Ministry of Healing 237, paragraph 2. And she says we should apply them skillfully, and it requires work that many are unwilling to perform. But none should feel excused for ignorance or indifference on this subject. There are many ways in which water can be applied to relieve pain and check disease. All should become intelligent in its use in simple home treatments. Now there is on YouTube this couple named it's M-A-S-C-H-I-L, Maskell, and it's, if you type in hot foot bath and then look to the right of the screen for that name, you can see a husband and wife team, and you'll recognize them by the way they dress. They have 19 videos, but 14 of them are on water treatments. I will post a link below for part 2, and then you will know what to look for. Below is also some information regarding water treatments and therapies found in Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. I can post that information below as well. And if you have that book, you can look it up. And if you don't, I highly recommend you get it. It's an excellent book. There's a lot of great things in there. Now, what about supplements in a cancer program? Well, from our study of the testimonies and the little work, How to Live was one of the first books that Sister White wrote. We can see that the Lord is strongly opposed to the use of drugs in our medical work. We know our success will be proportionate to our adherence to God's methods. For this reason, I've asked the above questions. And those questions were, does it refer to the stronger medicines like mercury, strychnine, arsenic, and poisons, or does it include simple remedies, etc.? So we need to read about simple remedies and follow them. And so she also says we need not call a physician any sooner than they would call a lawyer, that we have simple herbs and roots that every family can use for themselves. And again, Second Selected Messages 278 and 279. And also do not take your food in a liquid state. We're told in CD 105, taken in a liquid state, your food will not give healthful vigor to the tone to the system. But when you change this habit and eat more solids and less liquids, your stomach will feel disturbed. Notwithstanding this, you should not yield the point. You should educate your stomach to bear a more solid diet. Also, cook your grains well. We're told grains used for porridge or mush should have several hours of cooking. Ministry Healing 301. Now what I do is I take my oats or grains or whatever, cornmeal, couscous, whatever you're using, and I put them on a cookie sheet in the oven at 180 degrees for 3 hours. 3 hours. And then I let them cool completely and then store them and use them however you normally would. This will kill the phytic acid that's dangerous in the body when the levels are too high. And so that is following the counsel, because sometimes if you cook a grain, if you actually cook it for 3 hours, it will not taste very good. It'll be all mushy and gross. So that's how you do that. Now, what about all these different appliances people are using at their lifestyle centers? Well, there is danger of spending far too much money on machinery and appliances, which the patients can never use in their home lessons. They should rather be taught how to regulate the diet so that the living machinery of the whole being will work in harmony. CD 445, paragraph 2. What about colonics? There are men who make a specialty of treating the rectum, and some feel they have been greatly benefited. But I have been instructed that this treatment, as well as many surgical operations, leaves with many a serious weakness, and that's PHO 95, page 18, paragraph 5. Now, some other things to be cautioned about. We don't want to eat our food and drinks real hot or super cold. Very hot food ought not to be taken into the stomach. Soups, puddings, and other articles of the kind are often eaten too hot, and as a consequence, the stomach is debilitated. Let them become partly cooled before they're eaten. Now, cold food. I do not approve of eating much cold food for the reason the vitality must be drawn from the system to warm the food until it becomes of the same temperature as the stomach before the work of digestion can be carried on. That's Healthful Living 91, paragraphs 1 and 2. Some other things to be cautioned about is we are counseled not to use baking soda. That stuff is not good. A Seventh-day Adventist doctor that I personally know has shown me in his medical book where it said it has a 190% increase of getting cancer by using baking soda. We don't want to follow after the world's way of treating the sick. This includes herbalists. Let's stick with what we have been given in the spirit of prophecy. There's also a program called the 2-month program that covers all these areas and when to do each one. You can contact me and ask for that if you're interested. Also, there's cancer videos. Cancer is curable now, healing cancer inside out. Cancer doesn't scare me anymore. And then there's a video about Essiac tea, and I'll have that link and that information posted below as well. Well, anyway, that's my time for today. I hope that what you've heard on here will be a blessing to you and to your family. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And if the Holy Spirit impresses you, please donate to my ministry so I can continue to help others. I'll have information for that posted below, how you can do that if you're interested. And until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. And remember, God loves you and He wants you to be in health. So eat that which is good. God bless.